Okay, we're back here at Talk Labor, and we're glad to see you again. Had a great day today talking with some labor people. Some of the people I hadn't seen in years. It was wonderful to see some of the ladies and gentlemen that I grew up in labor with. Out at Local 308's new building that they bought. And I'm so happy to see 308 do the same thing. 241 did it a year ago. Now they stepped up and did it. And that is purchase their own building. That's a great thing. We had a lot of fun. We talked to some of the people, like I said before, and I kind of grew up at the ATU. And this is why I have such a soft spot in my heart for them. And I'll do anything and everything I can to make sure that that labor union is strong. If you need me at any time, of course, I'll be there. And I'll tell you another person that'll be there, but he had a situation that he had to be at today at the hospital working with one of a close friend, a close family, is my partner, Ronald Roach. Ronnie, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, Jerry.
Man, how's everything today?
Pretty good.
How's everything going with
Everything's fine.
Person, not girl? Okay,
Yeah.
doing good at the hospital?
Yeah.
Going through rehab, I understand?
Yeah.
That's great, and getting back on her feet.
Right.
Well, wishing you the best, Janice, and looking forward to seeing you because you're a very active person, and we can't wait to get you back on your feet. Yeah. So, labor. We're talking about labor. That's something I know a lot about.
Yeah.
I think you know a lot about that.
A little bit.
I want to give people a little update on the lawsuit that we filed. I don't want to go back over the whole history because you all just about know that. Most people want to know, hey, Jerry, where's my money? First thing I say when the people ask me that, I'm like, did you say thank you, Jerry? And, you know, most of the time, like, oh, thank you, Jerry, but where's our money? That's the way to go, Ronnie.
Yeah, that's human nature.
Just to let you know, and again, yeah, I'm serious about this. You thank the people that went out there and worked their butts off for the last 8 years. Active people, even though we lost the case, we gave you everything we had to try to win your case for you. And in my opinion, I don't think you should stop right there. I think you should take it to the U.S. Court of Appeals because they can't do what they do to us and get away, get away with it. Now they ruled in favor of the retirees, and I'm gonna get back to that in a second. But they ruled against the active people, and active people, you have the same rights everybody else does. They had a case called the Canerva case that was the exact same as ours, and but they ruled totally different. They're gonna split ours, give the retirees a victory, and then turn around and say that the active people are not entitled because the union signed off on it on a memorandum of understanding. That was awful. That was terrible. I think the union leaders were naive for doing that. But even though they did it, I think that we had a right to pursue the Illinois State Constitution's law. Ronnie, you know a little bit about that.
Yes, I do.
Why don't you expound on that a little bit? And,
Well, the Illinois State Constitution states, I think Section 8, Paragraph 5, if I'm correct, that you shall not take away or impair any benefits that I've earned. In the event that you do, you have to give something equal or greater than what you took. That's the law. That's simple. And that nothing supersedes that law. That's nothing. Right. The state Supreme Court cannot supersede that law. That's state law. Nobody can override that.
Because it was voted into the Constitution.
Into the Constitution.
Can the Supreme Court be wrong?
Yes, they can be wrong.
Okay. You had 7 judges. 2 of them ruled exactly the way we said.
Yes.
But 5 went the other way.
Yes.
Now, all the other unions, and we sound like a broken record because we tell you this every time we talk to you, but all the other unions in the state of Illinois, they ruled in favor.
Yes, same identical cases.
Why do you think they? Why do you think they ruled that way?
You really want to know?
But I'm saying to the active members, you all don't take it lying down. If you want to appeal it to the U.S. Court of Appeals. And look at this. We talked about this before. You get hired at 21 years old. You're averaging $3,000 a year paying health care. You retire. When you get retired, the age to retire at 64. And the next year you're on Medicare. So all that money that you paid into that healthcare trust, you won't get to use any of it, right?
Unless you have a heart transplant or something.
Oh, well, okay.
And you only have 1 year because you retire at 64.
Right, right.
You work 43 years.
Right.
And providing that the health care don't go up any further than
true.
it did.
That's true. That's true.
But it's steady going up.
Well, we're fighting. We're still fighting, and we encourage you to step up and fight too. Now with the retirees, yeah, we're looking to get that money back. We got the draft of the amendment that was written by the attorney this year, last week. Just got the draft, and it's going to the circuit court.
Right.
And what happens is the Illinois Supreme Court told the circuit court, who ruled against us, go back and change your decision, because the retirees are entitled to be covered under the Illinois state constitution. So that's what we're doing now. We have to go back now to the circuit court and file that petition. And I don't think we're going to have any problem, like we did for the last 8 years, where we had to go 8 years going to the appellate court and the Supreme Court. Appellate court has already ruled that we're covered under there. And the Supreme Court has ruled that we're covered under there. So I don't see them going any further. I do see CTA trying to drag it, but as our attorneys, have indicated to us, they're going to step it up and try to make sure that don't happen. But the one guy said, Jerry, exactly what day we're going to have it? I can't tell you because I'm not a fortune teller. But what I'm saying to you is it's not going to be like it was. So stay with us. Watch this show. I'm going to always give you an update every week. So watch this show, okay? And I'm going to give you updates when I come out to visit you. Because we fight too long. We've been fighting too long. We're going to see this to the end, and the end is really near right now, okay? Now, one other big thing that's going on, and same thing dealing with this pension, you don't have any representation on that board. The law says you should have representation, but you don't. We're going to address that on January 7th at 1613 South Michigan at the ATU Local 241's building. We're asking all retirees to come out to that meeting. You should get flyers from your union, and people that are in management or exempt. We're telling you be there at 9:30, at 1613 on the 7th, and we're going to address that because we have formed a coalition. We're following the law. We formed a coalition that we're going to address that with, Ronnie. As you know, they got people sitting in there now that should not be there.
Right.
They got trade union people sitting there that votes 90% with the company each and every time. And I said trade unions. And the reason they do that is because they don't have any skin in the game. They don't represent anybody on that property, maybe one or two people. They don't represent anybody, so it doesn't matter to them. And according to the law, let me read the law to you. I brought that with me so you could understand what I'm talking about. With the trustees, the people that actually make the votes, do the votes, that make the difference in our lives. Now, when they wrote the law, this is the way they wrote the law. And this is how they established the board. The Board of Trustees shall consist of 11 members appointed as follows. 5 trustees shall be appointed by the Chicago Transit Authority. 3 trustees shall be appointed by an organization representing the highest number of Chicago Transit Authority participants. That would be ATU Local 241. They will have 3. Then the next trustee there should be 1 trustee appointed by an organization representing the second highest number of Chicago Authority participants. that would be ATU Local 308. They have one. That's 4. Now you need one more. Now it says, one trustee shall be appointed by the recognized coalition representatives of participants who are not represented by an organization with the highest or second highest number of Chicago Transit participants. And the way I'm trying to break it down and explain it to you is the first number of people, the highest number of people, will be represented by the largest local. That'll be 241. They have the highest number of people that participate in this plan. The second highest number that participate in this plan is represented by Local 308. They have the second highest number of participants in the plan. The next highest participants in the plan are the retirees. Now, you notice I said organizations with 308 and 241. That's what it says in the bill. But it says coalition when it talks about the next highest number of people, and that would be the retirees. We have formed a coalition. We're forming a coalition. We'll be at that meeting to make sure that coalition is exactly as it should be legally. And we're going to be asking you to come out and participate. We're going to ask you to come out and show your strength. Become a member of the coalition. We got some members already. Become a member of the coalition. Then we're going to present to the CTA the fact that we're demanding that the person that we select, sit on that board as the 5th trustee for labor and represent the 3rd highest participants in the plan. It's very simple. So we're going to be looking for you on the 7th of January, okay? The 7th of January. If you have any questions, give me a call. You all have a number. Or go to my website, talklabor@gmail.com, and we'll try to answer your questions for you. Now, I hope we were pretty clear on that. If not, I'll be talking about it for the next 2 or 3 weeks. I don't even know. I hope I'll be in town next week. If I'm not, you'll still be able to reach me. Now I want to talk about some things that I didn't talk about last week, and that is the election that happened at the United States Roads. What do you think about this reality clown becoming the president of the United States?
What do I think about it?
Yeah. Well, what did you think about this?
Nothing.
What do you think about this guy?
Well, to be honest, Jerry, racism is the reason that he won.
Okay.
Point.
Talk to me.
Right. Because people don't come in and say, "I don't want a woman." Why not? You can't say women can't run it because Margaret Thatcher ran it with dignity and class for a long time.
Right.
We've had several women in time run countries.
Germany. I think the Germany right now.
Or has a chancellor. Okay.
Yeah, right.
And Israel. India had a prime minister that ran it.
And it's not about the gender, it's about the intelligence of the person. I saw them attack Hillary Clinton like she was some creature from outer space. They lied on this lady. And anybody to come to me and tell me, well, Hillary didn't do this, I'd be wanting to slap them. Because this woman did everything she was supposed to do. All her life she's been out there fighting for America. This boy's been trying his best to scheme and scam America. And these deplorables put him in office.
Yes, they did.
And I'm like Hillary said, well, most of them are deplorable. I say they're all deplorable. Anybody that voted for this guy, what do you think about it?
They have a young fella now. He's going around doing what do you say? Heil Hitler. All this kind of stuff, promoting. He said there's going to be a race war, and the lady looked at him and said, "Man, are you serious? Were you promoting racism?" Yeah, he says it.
Yeah.
But the people that don't realize it's all about money and what you produce and what you contribute. you contribute nothing to society, you don't count. I don't care what color you are.
Right. Well, that's true. But you know, these guys that making the money, don't you think they're playing these guys, these
Like
other
a
guys,
bass fiddle.
punking them out,
Playing them like a bass
telling them to
fiddle.
go out and let's
Yes.
race war, and
Yes.
taking money out of their pockets at the same time.
Yes.
Like some of the guys, some of the labor guys. Well, you know, Trump, I guess he's a guy, and and he's sticking it to them already.
Doing it already.
He's sticking it to these fools already, and I have to call them a fool because it's what they are. One thing I tell you what, I get so sick and tired of people whining about and complaining about how terrible the government is, and how America and how they hate it. You know, do you realize that we have one of the best democracies in the world? I mean, we have one of the best democracies in the world. But you whine about the government, and what happens is this, folks. They make you turn on yourself. You're the government. Mm-hmm. You are the government. So they make you hate yourself. And that way they can control, take over, and do whatever the hell they want with you. Because you hate the government.
That's like with unions. Mm-hmm. People say, the union ain't no good. I said, go look in the mirror. Take a look in the mirror. You know.
Exactly right.
And if the government is no good, you elected the government.
Right. Right.
You have a right
You
to
elected
vote
the
him out.
representative, right?
Yeah. You have a right to vote him out.
But the government is you. Listen,
Right.
you know, one of the things about the government, I love the government.
Me too.
I do. I love the government. And I'll tell you why. And I'm going to tell you what. You people that claim you hate the government so much, you love it too. But you just don't know. You don't know. I'm happy that we have paved streets.
That's right.
That's the government. I'm happy that we have stoplights so fools don't run through the stoplight.
That's right.
That's the government. I'm happy we have police departments, fire departments. That's the government. Public schools. That's the government. Social Security, Medicare. That's the government. Human rights laws. That's the government. Disaster relief. That's the government. Armed forces. That's the government. EPA, regulatory agencies. That's the government. You love it too. But you run around and let these people tell you you hate the government. You are the dumbest people I've ever seen in my life.
You created all of this.
Yeah.
You created this. Now you don't like it? And I'll bet you all the people that said they hate it didn't vote.
Yeah.
I bet they didn't vote.
Sit on that duff and
Didn't
vote.
do nothing.
You know, you're probably right.
So,
You're probably right.
what you got, 360, 400, almost 400 million people here?
Yeah.
How many people, how many, I would like to find out what was the actual turnout in this presidential election.
It was a heck of a lot. I don't even think half the people voted.
Okay.
I really
So
don't.
out of close to 400 million,
Right.
less than 200 million voted.
Less than 200 million voted, for sure.
Okay, so you mad.
You know, you get what you deserve. Like I said, you're being punked. You're being punked, and you don't even know it. You get so comfortable with where you are till you lay back and you just complain. It's so easy to complain. It's hard to get your up off your ass and go to work and try to make this government even better. It's easy for you to sit and complain, and that's what you've been doing. Now look what you got. Look what you got right now. You haven't seen anything yet. You haven't seen the effects of what's going to happen with this clown in there. Especially your unions. Look what they're doing. Look what they're putting in place to deal with labor.
That's right.
People that hate you. And you made it so that the Republicans have the House, the Senate, and the presidency. So,
and the Supreme Court.
And the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court. It's awful. It's something that is bad. We got a lot of work to do. You don't lay over and say, oh, Lord, please don't do this. Oh, we shall overcome. I don't want to hear that.
Get away. I
I don't want to hear that.
Nope.
Let's get up and go to work. Get up and go to work, because these people have come to take everything that you have. You should have saw it coming. I mean, everybody told you. You should have saw it coming. You know, it's just sickening to see how people get caught up in this kind of stuff when you didn't have to. We should be, in my opinion, we should be discovering not just discovering, but actually on our second planet right about now, our third planet. If we put our heads together and think, I'm talking about all people, black, white, Asian, everybody, put your heads together, we could have been on another planet, you know, enjoying some other planet. But what we do, we turn around and turn on ourselves. And that's what happens when people get illnesses such as lupus, is that your cells and your antibodies turn on each other and start destroying each other.
And whatever's weakest in your body, it mimics it.
Right. So that's what we are doing here. We're here talking about, you're darker than me, so I have to kill you. You got these clowns running out there murdering black people, brown people. That's the session I want to get into right now. I watched this on television. First, before I get there, we talk about black on black crime. There's no such thing. It's just crime. It's crime. Because you go black on black, you got white on white, brown on brown. That's nuts. You just have crime. And I'm going to hold this up. I don't know if my tech can get that. This is the stats for shootings up until December, all the way from January to December. If you will notice, last year, in 2015 from January to this point, there were 2,988 shootings in Chicago. This year, there are 4,147 shootings in Chicago. And this happened around the country. These shootings would not be happening if everybody didn't have guns. If people didn't have the guns. I say to my fellow human being, some people are capable of having a gun and not shooting someone at the drop of a hat.
Right.
Some people are not. If you put a gun in a 14-year-old kid's hands, what do you expect him to do? He's going to go out and shoot somebody just to be shooting them. You don't even know the person. But they'll shoot not just black, don't get me wrong. Not just black. Look at these clowns that shot up the movie theater and the kids at the school, the 30-some kids, the colorblind people. You put guns in their hands. This one kid, mother bought him a bunch of guns and he shot her in the face and went and shot up people. This is what happened, folks. This is what happens. Now, as much as I hate guns, when I see things happening, I'll be very, very much concerned about it. And I don't want anything like what happened to these kids at school or the movies and stuff like that to happen to, someone that I know. You get closer and closer. Congressman Davis's grandson was murdered just recently. You get closer and closer to home. And somehow we got to stop that, folks. Got to stop that. What I'm really concerned about, Ronnie, is when there are murders, especially in the African American neighborhood, if it's white on black crime, these people are not even arrested. And if they are arrested, they never go to jail. Trayvon Martin.
Right.
The young Mike Brown. The young kid, the football player that just was murdered the other day. I couldn't fathom that. Here's a guy that stops his car First of all, he's into road rage, and he's done this before. Last year, I forget when it was. He did the same thing, jumped out of the car and punched the guy. This time he did the same thing, jumped up, and when he stopped, he shot and killed McKnight, young football player. And the police didn't see fit to arrest him at that time. They said, well, we got to do our investigation. I'm just trying to figure, if this was the other way around, would they have thrown this black person in jail? And sometimes we act like we're afraid to talk about that, but talk about it, because it's true. What do you think about that?
I didn't hear.
Oh yeah, this is a road rage situation, and these guys are going back and forth. Now the white individual that was involved in this road rage, this is the second time he was involved at the same place, at the same light, at that same intersection. The other guy, he jumped out of the car and punched the guy. This guy, he turns around and shoots this guy dead. And this guy happened to be black.
Oh.
And football player. And he was not arrested.
Why not?
But that's what everybody was asking. And the cop said, the policeman said that, well, we have to do our investigation and we'll see if we arrest. Now, finally, after about a week or so, they arrested him. And the policeman said, see, we had to do our investigation. You talk about what we didn't do, and you don't know what you're talking about it. No, what happened is he got so much pressure that he had to arrest the guy.
He wouldn't have arrested him then.
And then I got a feeling that this guy, like so many others, will not go to jail. They'll find a way to let him out. The reason I say that, because the young man that was murdered in, I think it was South Carolina, shot in the back 8 times by this policeman. They did arrest the policeman. They had the trial, and you had one juror on the trial that says, well, I just couldn't bring myself to convict him. I haven't heard yet why he said he couldn't bring himself to convict him. But he just said, I couldn't bring myself to convict him.
Oh.
Explain that to me. So my thing is, if you're out there, and let me bag it up. Are you familiar with that?
Yes, I am. Watched it about 15 times.
What can you explain to me what?
Yes, I can.
Why he said he couldn't convict him?
Because he was white.
Is that what he said? I don't know. Is that
what he felt? Understand. We can take it back a little further. Here's a man, two men murder a 14-year-old kid. They said whistle at a white woman.
Emmett Till.
And they found them not guilty. No conviction, no nothing. Let's go back. Police officer that shot the young lady on the west side, shot over his shoulder and shot her in the back of the head.
Yeah.
The judge, they charged him with reckless homicide?
Reckless homicide.
They said, you should have charged him with murder. Judge Dennis Porter. But if you'd have charged, whatever you charged him with, they were going to find him not guilty.
Yeah.
So in other words, they think that, well, it's just the way it is. Your life, they really look at us as being worthless. It don't really matter. An incident I don't know exactly where, but 2 black police officers shot a white pedestrian.
Yeah. I remember that.
And they was in jail before 3 o'clock. They locked them up. They went to jail. No ifs, ands, or buts. So let's understand, okay, how you try to look at it, racism is alive and well, and then it's, and it's not going to change until people get enough. You just can't. And why is it that you don't raise, and I'm not just trying to justify anybody killing anybody. Nobody wants to lose a child. No mother wants to lose a son. No wife wants to lose a husband. No kid wants to lose a parent.
Right.
But I want you, the mayors of these cities, when a person is murdered like that, don't put him on desk duty. Put him in jail. You can put him on desk duty and he getting $80,000 and $90,000 a year. And then when you come to check, I was improperly trained. Now they play on. You've been on the job all these years, and when you murder somebody and they question it, all of a sudden now I need disability because I just can't deal with the fact that I didn't kill a black person.
I got a problem with that. I was improperly trained. When you have the same situation in a white neighborhood, they do what they're supposed to do. You're properly trained. But when you do it in a black neighborhood, it's like, I'm improperly trained. He should be put up under jail for saying that.
Well, he says what he said.
You need to be put up under jail for saying that. You know, as much as I hate to see citizens walking around with guns, I really do, because I think it's stupid. I really do. But my advice to African Americans, you're going to have to go out and buy your own gun. You got to protect yourself and your family. Because it seems like there is no justice. We got to stop whining and crying. You got to protect yourself. Now, I'm not saying go out there and get a gun and shoot people up because that's stupid. But if somebody come up on you, pull a gun on you or something, and try to harm you or your family, you got to protect your family. That's just the bottom line.
That's the Second Amendment, right?
That's the Second Amendment. And I noticed that back in the day, they condemned them for it, and they try to paint them as terrorists and these no good Black Panthers. But Huey Newton and those guys understood that if everybody else can carry a gun, so can I. And they used to walk around with their guns in their hands. I'm not encouraging people to do that. I'm encouraging people to pass bills to stop people from carrying guns at all, because you don't need them here in America. You don't need them in America. But what I've come to realize, Ruddy, and that is that our media has failed us. Mm-hmm. They don't report the facts. They don't tell the truth. And they only do things that, put them in a position to make money.
That's it.
We don't have reporters anymore. But, one of the things they give, I'm going to tell you something about the police department. They give the police department a bad. I think they give them, they're unjust with the police department. They make them look like they're killers and, murderers, and majority of the policemen are not like that.
Right.
I work with them.
Yeah.
I know these people.
I know quite a few.
They're just like you and me.
Yeah.
They're good people.
Yes.
But the way the media bring it across, it's like it's us against them.
Yeah,
we got to, see how they treat you, and then then they come with the same token. They do the same thing with African Americans.
Right.
They come across as if we're the worst damn thing that walked on the earth. And it's them and the police, and they got to go. No, that's not the way it is. That's not the way it is. One of the things that bother me the most, I guess, is that I hear people say things like, 95% of the police are good people. Okay, I can go along with that. I believe that. But also, 95% of African Americans are good people. And you never hear them say that on television. Mm-mm. You never hear them say that on television. But that's what I mean about our media has failed us. I mean, it's like, as long as there's strife between the police department and the community, that's juicy news.
Sells newspapers.
Sells newspapers. It sells commercials. Mm-hmm. And they make a lot of money off of this. I was talking with my wife the other day, and we were discussing this, that 85% of the things you see on the media is like morbid, death, this. There's a lot of good things going on, Ronnie. Tell me about it, man. Make me understand that what I'm saying is true.
I'm glad you brought that up. In 5 years, we work for an organization that's given away close to $60 million in scholarships. Mm-hmm. We'd help close to 4,000 kids go to school.
Right.
Didn't have to spend a dime. Just register, have decent grades, some not so decent, and get help to go to school, to become doctors, CEOs, whatever you choose to do in life. I've never seen Channel 7 or Channel 5 or Channel 9 come out one time and say, we're proud, it's an honor for us to come out to show this. 2 years in a row. We were right down on King Drive, Dunbar, one of the most prestigious black schools in the city. Go way back.
So many kids you couldn't even turn around.
And when we got there that morning, I got there half hour early. They was lined up waiting to get in. There was nowhere for them to go.
That, folks, that's true. It's absolutely true. And we turned them out. We gave them scholarships all the way till up 7 o'clock at night.
7 o'clock at night.
Right.
Where was Channel 2? Where was Channel 5 or Channel 7?
That don't sell commercials. You know, it's not juicy.
But you make statements that depict us in such a negative light. Look, we had these two kids, and I always think about them. They had a 5.0 and a 31 and a 32 on the ACT. Never saw that. They got a free ride to Tuskegee. They went to U of I.
Right.
You know, there was a young lady, she got $80,000, my friend's granddaughter, to go to school. My granddaughter got $71,000. There was another young lady, she got $54,000 to go to school.
And what happens with that is people talk about, oh, we got solutions, we're going to play basketball with the kids and we're going to do this and do that. That's short term. What we do is give them a long-term solution. What we do is give them the opportunity to get an education so that they can make it in this life. What we do, like with our Promise program, we take kids from 6th grade up through 8th grade.
Right.
We do a lot for them. We make sure that they have an opportunity to get scholarships when they graduate from high school. We take them, we mentor them, we tutor if they need tutoring. We have the parents sign an affidavit and we go and we monitor, make sure that they stay in school. They have to have a 93% attendance record.
Right.
They have to make sure they don't get in trouble, keep their grades up or increase. If they need help with the ATC, we help them because we have people to do that. If they do this all the way through high school, what happens at the end, bro?
They guarantee.
Virtually guaranteed to get
a scholarship somewhere.
We work with the colleges, and they're working with us on that. Now, we have people working with us. We have the police department. We have just a whole bunch of people working with us on this. So, but you don't hear about that.
No, why not?
You don't hear about that. Yeah, it's not juicy enough. I'm telling you, man.
And I'm glad you brought it. The police department is adamant about working with us in this.
Right.
Man, they on board 100%.
Right.
The Board of Education,
Right.
the Teachers Union,
Right.
I mean conglomerates.
Right.
Say, man, we like what y'all doing.
Right.
What can we do to help?
And we're going to continue to do this because we know that this works. We know that this is what our community needs, not just in African American. You know, with the Infinite Scholar, it's not just about African American kids.
Anybody.
Any kid can come and get the scholarships. Mostly we cater to African Americans because they can't get these scholarships. Most of you folks know, have you started thinking yet about what you're going to do, where your kid is going to go to school at? Say if your child is in the 8th grade, 6th, 7th grade. Have you even thought about, given a thought about what school they're going to? These are the type of things that we're talking about. We take these kids, we take them on a trip, we'll take them on a trip to college, we take them on a college, they get an opportunity to go to college and check and see how they actually would be in college themselves. And they get the atmosphere from the college tour that we're taking.
Right.
And then it lets them know that there's something else in life other than out there trying to push a little drugs, or you're doing this and doing that. And they're very happy about it. These kids are really, really happy about this. So folks, we got to stay on top of this. We got to stay on top of this. And you got to make it happen. I'm so proud of Chicago. I'm proud of Illinois on how we voted in the election, presidential election.
Yes.
I can smile about that because we stood strong. Illinois, California, New York, and a couple others stood strong. And we know what we need. We had people trying to buy elections here in Illinois. We showed them that that's not going to happen. We're going to continue to fight. We're going to continue to do the things we need to do, nationally and locally. We're going to do those things. We got some great things going on. When people tell you that blacks in America, and blacks especially in Illinois and Chicago, oh, it's terrible, and this clown that's supposed to be president coming in, he's saying that Chicago is, oh, it's awful and it's just terrible. Look at those people; they don't have jobs and they walk down the streets and they can't. That's a lie. You know for yourself. Get in your car, drive down Chatham, and look at the beautiful homes that African Americans have. Every one of them go to work every day. Drive out in Richton Park, Madison, and out there. Look at them beautiful homes.
That's right.
Linwood. These are African Americans' owned homes. These people are working. Hazel Crest, Country Club Hills.
Right.
That's where African Americans, and they work every day and they do what they're supposed to do. So don't tell me about how African Americans are horrible and terrible. You're a damn lie. Anybody say that? You're a damn lie. But now, if you were to do what you're supposed to do, help take these guns out these kids' hands, make sure that they have opportunities to go to school, make it so that they can have jobs in the afternoon and jobs on the weekend, they wouldn't have to be out there doing this kind of stuff. I don't excuse any clown that's out there murdering kids. I'm talking about African American kids. You guys that's out there shooting your own, I don't condone that kind of garbage. You're a damn fool. But mama, daddy, if you got a 14-year-old out there shooting people, you got to know about this. Because I raised mine and I know where they were at all times.
That's right.
Ronnie raised his, other people raised theirs, so stop that. If they bringing home a little old extra money because they out there selling drugs, folks, it ain't gonna last. Your kids he ain't gonna make it, he or she ain't gonna make it. So, but anyway, that after preaching that, and I say again, folks, we gotta get some legislation passed that makes sense as far as guns are concerned. Makes sense where we can, get these guns off the street, get them out of the hands of these kids and these mentally ill people, and even some sane people. I remember I was at a party one time, Ron. This is no lie, and the guy was sitting in the seat. It was crowded, and so the guy went up, left, and when he come back, another guy was sitting in the seat. So they get into an argument over the seat, and the guy pulls out a gun and shoots him. Over a seat. Who was sitting in a seat? Mm-hmm. Now, if he didn't have that gun, what would he have done? Nothing. So that's what I mean, folks. Don't let these people fool you. Don't get punked. And media, make the media do what they're supposed to do. Make them do it. Don't stop watching. Force them to do what they're supposed to do. We can do that. We can work on that. We're going to do that as time go on. I've been preaching about this for years. I'm going to continue to do it. And remember, labor is what gave us the middle class.
That's right.
Gave us the middle class. They're trying to destroy that. Folks, do you hear me? All of you union people, all of you people that are not union, you got your raises because unions got raises, and they cannot give you less than what the unions, because if they did that, then you're going to want to unionize, so they have to give you equal pay. So the thing is, don't let them do it. Don't let them do it. All I can do is say it to you. Don't let them do it. Okay? Now, we've been going on this evening about some of the things in labor and some of the things that's going on in the community. And like I said before, hey, man, listen, we're all in this together. I want you little guys to understand. Police, the majority of the police, they're out here to work with you. They are. You got some that are rogue, that need to be under the jail. We know this. Some of them join the force just to do that kind of thing. Okay? But the vast majority of policemen are good people that's out there trying to work with you, trying to help you. Mom and dad, they're trying to help. So let's get together, let's talk about it inside of our community, okay? Now, next week we're looking to have, hopefully, we're looking to have some entertainers on next week that I think that you're going to be very impressed with. And also stay tuned to this station for more and the latest updates as far as the lawsuit's concerned that was filed for pensioners at ATU and the CTA. And don't forget, on January 7th, we'll be at ATU Local 241's office or building at 1613 South Michigan. Okay? You've been watching Talk Labor. And Roach, anything you want to wrap up before I go?
Just continue to ask questions. If you see something and you're not sure, ask questions. And don't give up the fight. Don't allow anybody to turn, to take away your focus. You know, and like unions make up the nucleus of the country. Don't allow these people to, and they, like the president-elect coming in says, I'm going after unions.
Sure did.
If it wasn't for unions, he wouldn't have all that he got.
That's true. That's true. So America, you know, I don't think you let me down. I think you voted real. I think you voted well. The person that going into office is going into office, I guess legally, because of the election that we had. The popular vote was actually won by Hillary Clinton. I think it's somewhere close to 3 million people. More people voted for her. So more Americans wanted her, but we're going to work this out. So you stay tough, stay strong. We're going to see you next week again on Talk Labor. Hey, maybe there's some things that you want to talk about. So we'll see you at Talk Labor next week.